Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Serena Fazan here, and of course, my favorite day of the week. We're ready to go on the record, and we're here in Studio B. I love it. Do you love the skyline behind me here at CP Communications in Red House Streaming? But really, the star today is, all right, let's get to it. Brian Pengelly, I'm pronouncing, and Brian Copper.
And Copper.
Okay, how cute is Copper?
Waking her up for this finally, since she was just napping as we were waiting to get started.
Gosh, she's so cute. So Copper is the first pooch that we've ever had here. So we're, on the record and breaking records today.
That's
awesome.
So
she's okay, first of all, Brian, introduce yourself. We actually met at the Candle Pour. Misty and Dennis Akers had done a Love in America series here, and I went in there to say hi to them. You were there with Copper.
Yep.
And we started talking. So tell me about you and Copper.
So basically, I was born in Poland, adopted, moved to Tampa for school. I went to med school here, ended up leaving, and basically kind of pivoted my own career. Became good friends with Misty and Dennis. As I was in there just literally shopping, catching up and everything, brought the dog in, and then it was such a random coincidence that we ran into each other, and you fell in love with the dog and just started talking and got everything set. Really for Copper, she pooch I can hope, ever hope for. Great personality and everything, and people love her.
So when Brian said I fell in love with Copper, it's not just me. It's an Instagram sensation. So, okay, tell us how you got her in the first place, and then how in the world did you get so adorable? And she's done some amazing things. And we have some great video that we're going to show, throughout the show.
Yeah.
But why don't we start with that?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, it's actually kind of funny how we ended up kind of starting out with Copper's Instagram. So I made her Instagram because when I got her, I didn't want to be one of those people that just like spams all my friends' pages with dog pictures. So I'm like, all right, let me make like my own Instagram for this dog. I tried to make it a pun, so like Mini Cooper, like the car, Mini Copper, and just kind of took it from there. So her breeder, I got her locally from Murphy's Doodles up in Wesley Chapel.
So Murphy's Doodles, we're giving you a shout out here, and here is some of the Instagram pictures that we're showing. Okay, so that was very cute, by the way, Mini Cooper, Mini Copper.
I was like, some people get the pun, some people don't get it, but it worked out. It worked out great. And then from there, I mean, a lot of it was just really good, being in the right place at the right time, making some awesome connections with people. So Murphy's Doodles actually reposted her when she was probably like 10 weeks old, 1 or 2 times to your 70,000 followers on their page, and that helped us like kickstart a little bit. But the funniest thing that really got her going is after she got fixed when she was 6 months old. Normally they'll be in a cone. I had her in this little donut, inflatable donut, and it was the day one that Sparkman Wharf opened. And it was her first day that she could be like out and about and everything. So she looked all a mess. She had the donut on, long hair. She had the little part cut out from the IV. And we went down there, and the girl running social media for Sparkman was like, "Oh, can I take a picture?" And we had her there. She was on their story. She was mentioned. She was in a static post. And people started to really kind of pick things up from there.
Wow. Okay, so let me back up just a little bit, because how old is Copper now?
She's 3 right now.
She's 3 right now. So this all started when, at 10 weeks old, as you said, that she was posted there first. What a coincidence, though, at Sparkman's Wharf, and that's what just kind of snowballed this whole thing, would you say, Brian?
That's what I would absolutely say. That's what snowballed it, because that was one thing. So what we're really grateful for with Copper is just like the local connection that we have with our city, with the city of Tampa. We have such good partnerships and friendships with so many local business owners, as well as like the city of Tampa for their Instagram, everything like that. And just starting with Sparkman Wharf, that really, I think, kickstarted the connection that we have with a lot of South Tampa, Hyde Park, and taking us beyond.
When the first, and as you know, I love Tampa because I'm also very proud to be the host of the Visit Tampa Bay podcast, you know, so I'm so blessed by that. So the Sparkman Wharf picture, though, at that point, how many followers would you say that Copper had at that point?
At that point, I want to say she had about 3,000.
3,000, which is still significant.
It was a decent amount, yeah, decent amount for a puppy.
Definite, right. So then, but then after that, they reposted it.
Yep.
And then what started to happen? And did you think, at this point now, are you still in med school, or where are you in your life at this point?
No, so I'm working just regular right now, so I'm already out of medical school. And for me, I'm like, all right, well, people like her. You know, she's very easy to get along with. You know, her personality was developing as such. You know, as you see now, like she's super mellow. She just wants to kind of nap and hang out, and that's the thing. Like we just kind of took it from there and just said, all right, well, let's see who else we can reach out to. Sparkman Wharf likes us. Let's go talk to the Modern Paws. Let's go talk to, you know, any other local businesses. And people just started to really fall in love with her. And
wow.
She got known for napping. She's literally been posted in like around Tampa for dog Instagrams to follow. And they say she naps everywhere. She complains about the heat and she naps. And it's great. I mean, that's what she's doing right now.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And of course, you know, I have to hold her. So, but let me ask you,
yes.
So you knew instinctively that, you know, I have this, and you love Copper, of course, I mean, she's your family, but you knew instinctively that there's something about her. So how do you go about, though? You said, you know, you started contacting people. Mm-hmm. So for people who are so interested in social media and building their social media, how did you know who to contact, and how did you do it in the first place?
You never really know who to contact, to be honest with you. It was a lot of legwork of just really, you know, sending out Instagram messages, emails, going in person, starting off with places that you already frequent. So if you're a human, you know, going to the restaurants that you go to a lot already, people that you already know that way, or with the dog, going to the stores that we already go to with dogs. So Downtown Dogs, Modern Paws, Pautology, where she gets groomed, and really just talking, starting that conversation, and seeing what people are open to. And as that following increases, you know, then you get a little bit more leverage in saying, all right, let's move from something where we get a free, you know, shampoo to something where you're paying us to help promote you. But we've really tried to stay hyper focused on being local. So just really standing up for our city and everything, helping support local businesses, especially throughout COVID, because I know it's been, you know, incredibly difficult for people, you know, here and then all over the country. And I know she's brought a lot of joy to people.
Absolutely, yes, because you see those pictures and, you know, your heart just melts. In fact, so Jason, our technical director in my ear, is saying he has some video that he wants to share. So Jason, why don't we go to that right now? And we can even watch the video and then we can talk about
Let's
it.
take a look.
Let's take a look.
So this is the first time that she went on a trip. So this is a trip that we're going. This is in Charlotte, going up to Washington D.C. And this got like 8,000 views for it pretty quickly because she's just kind of sitting there. She's so chill, just head out and just looking around and just taking everything in. And it's the cutest thing. She's just, you know, super inquisitive, and people just fall in love with that.
Oh my gosh, I know. I mean, you're four-legged friends, right? And I love what you we're talking about as well, because of course the show is about, because we're also going to talk about the benefits of a dog-friendly city for everybody. But you know, so many people are interested in social media and Instagram. In fact, we have a special guest here, Drew Oliver, who's a student at University of Tampa, and he and I were just talking about how everybody now is really following social media. So Brian, didn't it become like a full-time job at the beginning? How did you have the patience to do it? Did you carve out time because you were working?
Yep.
So how did you do it? How did you do it?
I carved out time for sure. It was a question of spending, you know, an hour or two a day, depending on the day, depending on how I felt, saying, all right, I'm going to try to make this kind of content, or I'm going to reach out to these people, or just really setting such a wide, I cast such a wide net when I was starting out in the beginning and saying, I'll take anything that will work with Copper. If it's a hotel, if it's a dog store, if it's just a random restaurant, anything. So it was a question of just finding that balance and finding that drive. I knew in my heart that, you know, she's an awesome dog. I see how people smile and people react when they meet her, and I was like, we have to take advantage of this and just, you know, share the joy that a dog can bring. Because there's so much negativity that's in social media right now. You know, people are creating it for themselves, and you know, you can project whatever you want to be. But a dog's a dog, and that's the coolest thing. I can post pictures of when she would be a puppy and destroy toilet paper rolls, when she would make messes inside, when she would do all kinds of stuff. And I mean, that's just part of that relatableness that you might not get in a human's Instagram.
Well, you know, Brian, so Copper, of course, is such an amazing, adorable dog. But a lot of people have dogs, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, my dog is so adorable. But how do you get to the point? Do you think all dog owners could get to that point? Or do you feel, modesty aside, you know, your child here, do you think Copper has something very special?
I really think that Copper has something special. I don't know if it's just her energy that she brings to people or how she kind of presents herself, but I mean, she'll like, you know, as I was talking to Beth before, she literally went and she was petting her before we were getting ready for this. She just laid down by her feet and everything. Copper will do that for anyone. And it's just that warmth that you get that, you know, so many dogs are friendly and they're nice, but I think Copper just brings a different type of energy, and I really can't describe it. And I'm so lucky to have her in my life, and I know people react so well to that.
Well, she's so lucky to have you too. I mean, and as you said, so you carved out a certain period of time every single day?
Every single day.
Wow. And was it the same time every day, or how did you do it?
It was really whenever I found the time, because that's the beauty of having anything online or anything social media related is, you know, there's no time clock. You know, so if I want to do something at, you know, 11 o'clock at night, I can go ahead, I can shoot out some emails, I can, you know, like some photos, try to talk to some other dogs and everything like that, whatever. But it was a question of when I had the time, you know, just reach out and see. And one big thing that we did is we started following dogs that had kind of similar trajectories that I wanted to bring Copper to. So you find, you know, if you're trying to grow your own Instagram or your own social media, you find people or you find dogs that are in that same space that you want to be, and you try to open a dialogue with them. And then beyond that, you just engage with them on Instagram, engage with them on TikTok, whatever you're on. And that really helps out a lot because you can gain some clarity on how they made it their way, and then you can carve your own path.
Amazing. So we are going to go to a quick break right now. We're going to come back because I want to talk to you more, of course, about Copper, but also in a dog-friendly community and someone else that who reached out to you, who now has a very successful business.
Oh, yeah.
It's very exciting. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Stay with us. I'm Serena Fazan, a journalist, producer, and podcast host. With a background in television news, I know how much time and talent it takes to produce a broadcast quality production. But no more. Red House Streaming offers a simple, cost-effective method for capturing live action, Facebook, or any other website. From single camera shoots or multi-camera productions, conventional or virtual sets, and from the state-of-the-art Red House Streaming Studios to remote locations, the professional crew at Red House Streaming, backed by the technology and reputation of CP Communications, allows you to produce more content at a lower cost and with little to no engineering required. That's why my podcast, On the Record with Serena Fazan, is streamed live from the Red House Streaming. Contact Red House Streaming today at 800-762-4254 or online at cpcoms.com to learn more. I'll see you in the studio. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to On the Record. So earlier today, of course, we have Copper and her owner, Brian, into the studio. But earlier today, I had a chance to talk to Julio Calderon, who is actually an engineer and created a dog toy. And wait till you hear the name, but love talking to him today. Why don't we take a look at that video? Wow, what a treat. So I am so excited and thrilled to introduce you to Julio Calderon, the founder, CEO of Avo Doggo. Right, Julio, your company?
Yes, it is. Avo Doggo. It's an avocado dog toy. So get it? The Avo and then the Doggo. Yes.
I get it, my friend. I get it. You are an engineer, right, by trade?
Yes. By trade, I'm an engineer for Tampa Electric. So I am the one that's working to keep the electricity on for you. Yes, I am an engineer by trade. And while I was in my profession, during lunch, I would be sketching out avocados because I absolutely love them. And everybody just kept asking me, like, why are you drawing avocados? Why? And I'm like, I don't know. But I would start to sketch out, you know, and make it funny looking and everything. And then eventually I have a husky myself, and wanted to go ahead and do something kind of like a side hustle. I feel like everyone always wants to do a side hustle. So I decided to go ahead and create the Avo Doggo.
Okay, so this is quite something. And, you know, I have to say, especially with engineering, you know, our thoughts go out to New Orleans right now and everything that they're going through. I don't mean to digress, but we really
Hmm.
appreciate people like you that, keep us safe on that
Hmm.
note. But
Yes.
back to the toy, Avodago. So how long ago was this? And I know you said you love avocados. I do as well. But when you were, you know, drawing out this avocado, were you thinking at that time a toy because you love your dog? And please share the name of your dog and what type of dog you have.
Yes. So I have a 5-year-old husky. It's a mini husky, so it's only about like 28 pounds. And I always wanted to make a dog toy. So between drawing the avocado, I want to make something for my dog, or make something. I kind of just they blended together, and honestly, it just came. I just kept my mind open to what that thing was going to be for me as a side hustle. And then I just started getting creative with it and started Googling dog toys. And I realized there's a huge demand for dog toys, and there's just the popularity and the trendiness of avocados. I said, hey, well, why not go ahead and blend these two together and make avodago? And that's how it all came about. So, yes.
Well, the side hustle has really turned into a business, a real business that's bringing in money.
Right.
So, congratulations to you. Where
Thank you.
can we find Avodago right now?
So right now it's currently in 17 locations in Tampa, St. Pete, Dunedin, and as well as online. So I just had my first big breakthrough where is with Chewy.com. So I went ahead and just sent it out there, and I was like, hey, why not? If they say no, then okay, we just keep going with another option. And they reviewed the product, they loved the product, and they decided to go ahead and put it in their inventory for rope toys. So it can be found again locally, 17 stores, and online as well at chewy.com.
Well, gosh, Julio, such congratulations to you. I wanted to
Thank
ask you because of course, we have Brian and Copper here on the
you. Hmm.
show.
Yeah.
Why do you feel it's so important to live in a community that really encourages dog friendly, dog friendly atmospheres?
Yes, yes, of course. It's just because, our dogs are kind of our best friends. They really are. And it's like the greatest thing about a community that keeps everything very dog friendly, it allows you to bring your best friend with you, and that's how I came about meeting Brian with Copper. You know, I love it how the community can just support other people in the community when they're working on something, whether it's a business or whether it's a goal in mind, whatever the case may be. And that's how I met Brian. And he was able to help me promote the Avo Doggo with Copper's Instagram account. And it's things like that where it's like when you get that act of kindness that someone really wants to support you, it's like it's like a domino effect. So for me myself, starting this business, I've been able to help at least a half a dozen people that have been wanting to start their own thing. And I just do it out of kindness because it's like, look, I learned everything from watching YouTube videos. I didn't have a mentor or anything like that. I just learned it, applied it, and kept going on. So it's like if I see someone that is in those stages where I was at back in the day, I'm like, I would love to help them and just kind of like pay it forward to help others in our community that are doing good.
Gosh, that's so wonderful to hear. We have a whole campaign too, where with our company called Let's Spread Kindness, and
Hmm.
I mean that's really what makes the community go round is paying it forward for sure. Well,
Right.
Julio, I mean, of course, we wish we had you in the studio. You'll have to come back at some point or join us, come back on the record and actually be here. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything that you would like to add before we wrap up your segment?
If there's anything that I want to say is first off, thank you again for allowing me to be on this show. It's like when I first started promoting this, it wasn't really promoting the product because I wanted to just showcase that, look, if you have something in mind that you want to do, it has to be started from scratch. You got to stay confident. You got to just have a plan, focus on the plan, know that it's not going to work out initially. Just know that right off the top of your head, and get past that, because when it does happen, you're going to be in a reactive mode where you can get creative and just keep pushing forward. So it's like, think about whatever it is that you guys are wanting as your end result, and reverse engineer it and figure out what are the habits that I need to like establish. What is the education that I need? And what is the level of confidence, 10 out of 10, to just keep going, you know? So I guess for me, it's like, I just want to just let everyone know and motivate everybody to, if they're thinking about doing anything, just go for it. Go for it and just keep going until you get there.
Wow, Julio, you're inspiring me. So thank you. Thank you again so much. I hope to meet you, face to face one day. Stay safe out there, and thank you for joining us on The Record.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Y'all, you have a great day.
You too. What a great guy in Julio. And yes, of course, during that interview, I was like, Brian, you've got to give me the dog. You've got to give me Copper. What's Copper doing sitting over there? She needs to sit over here, and look how sweet she is.
She's just chilling.
Oh my gosh, she's the best. So I so enjoy talking to Julio, and I want people to know, so we didn't realize we were doing testing in here, and that dress was keying out in the green room because we're in a green room studio, but that's an aqua dress. So I'm like, I think I have a dress in the car. So I was changing. But we did that interview earlier this morning because he was supposed to be here, but unfortunately couldn't get here. But tell us, Brian, how did you meet Julio? What a nice guy. How did that connection happen?
So he's really a go-getter. I found out basically that he was local. I saw Avodago just basically on Instagram. Found out that it was local, reached out to him, and we basically just literally met up outside of where I lived, and said, hey, he's brought a backpack, and he said, hey, here's an Avodago. And he's like, let's see what we can do. We basically just chatted a little bit about how, he's trying to grow himself, in his business, and we're trying to just promote local businesses, anything like that. And I knew, I know what it was like to be at that point where you're trying to make that growth and you're trying to establish yourself. Because I did it with Copper, a couple years before. And I said, all right, well, let's see what we can do. So basically got a free Avodago and, just went ahead and, promoted him. And the funny thing is, we were right outside of Copper's groomer. And he's like, oh, do you know of any stores that, we can get into? And I'm like, right here, let's take a shot. And basically we wandered over, and I talked to the owner, and she's like, yeah, sure, we'll go ahead and we'll stock it. And he's like, all right, man, that's awesome. So it's really been, we've had a great professional relationship of just helping each other out, and just helping each other build and grow for ourselves and for the city, and just representing everything super local. And it's been great. I know Julio is really a go-getter with how he's set everything up for Avodago. He finally made it on a Chewy.
I know, that's amazing, right?
Absolutely incredible. When I saw that, I was like, wow. That's when you know that you made it, when you're on a national site. But yeah, and Julio and I we've kept a good dialogue going as time's been going on, and I'm really happy to be his friend and see him grow.
It's wonderful. And so I do want to ask about, I want to get to, dog-friendly cities and how that can help really boost an economy. But before we get into that, and you were talking to Julio about right in front of the groomer, and you said, let's try it here first. For those people, and including myself, like on the record, I'm saying this on the record, who get nervous, right, about asking people for things or saying, hey, what do you, would you help promote something? What advice would you give to people?
I'd really just say, just try. Really try. I know it's a very simple answer, but just try. Even if you're nervous or anything like that, you might not get it the first time, you might not get it the second time. Someone will say yes eventually. If someone feels their passion behind it, or if someone feels a connection with you, or that you're trying, or even just word of mouth gets out that, like, oh, hey, Brian's been around to this other store, like, we've worked with him in Copper, or, oh, we have Avodago here, you guys should give it a shot, selling it at your store. That's the kind of thing. Just say, get out there, give it a shot. You never know. The funniest things are, people that, kind of like I said with Copper, that I never went ahead and made her Instagram to have this goal of having her be a dog influencer for our area. Never. And she's gone so far beyond that, and it's just funny. You just try. I mean, in 2019, she was the national dog for Visit Florida officially for Instagram. This year, Hard Rock Tampa used her for National Dog Day in a post and then in a video, and we've worked with Pet Supermarket, which is, a major national brand.
National, yes, absolutely.
Joby, which is for photography and videography equipment. During lockdown, we did a commercial for them, and basically we're on Best Buy right now advertising for them. Grandma Lucy's, her food, we're on Amazon, and it's like I never would have expected any of this to happen. So that's why I'd say for anyone that's a little nervous, give it a shot. Someone will say yes, and you literally never know where it'll take you.
Well, that's why, I love this show too much, because you're inspiring me. This is so much, you and Julio both. So speaking of all these brands that, of course, Copper should definitely represent, is this basically your full-time job now, is managing her?
This is not my full-time job yet. My goal is definitely to make a full-time job out of this. But I work in telemedicine right now, and I love that. I love being able to help people, and I like having the balance because I can help people in a medical sense and everything with my day job. But then with Copper, it's just getting that emotional connection for people, seeing that joy face to face, and then really just making connections. But we'll see where life takes me with Copper and everything. Maybe one day it'll be just a full-time job. I would love that. I just want her to be happy, have the best life that she can, and I think she's enjoying it pretty well.
Well, my gosh, you're certainly getting there, that's for sure, and deservedly so. So, Brian, when you and I were talking at the candle pour, we also talked about, and here's the news journalist side of me that also comes out, about how dog-friendly cities can really help boost an economy and encourage visitors to the city. Why is that, do you think?
Well, one big thing is people don't want to be without their animals because, your pets are your family, of course. And, if you have a smaller dog, there's no reason why you can't travel with it. And then looking at that, it's saying, all right, I have my buddy with me. Let's go shopping. Let's go pick something out. Let's go out to dinner. And part of that, too, is if you're with friends, you meet more people that way. You have a dog. If you're by yourself, it's easy to strike up conversation with anyone. I can let the leash out a little bit more on Copper. She'll go up and say hi to someone, and I can start a conversation about anything. And really having a pet-friendly city and pet-friendly businesses lets more people be comfortable being, I think, especially a lot of people for vacation. It lets people say, all right, I'm going to go to Tampa and stay there a little longer than they would have because they don't feel that guilt of leaving their dog behind. And you can go shopping, you can go to a restaurant outside. Our city's changed so much in the past few years with the Riverwalk, with Sparkman Wharf, everything. It's all dog friendly. So it's beautiful. It really lets you explore the city, explore the weather that we've got, that we're so lucky to have, and bring your pup with you.
Have you seen, and those are such great points. You don't think about, quite frankly, but then I'm like, you know what? He's right. And honestly, here at CP and Red House Communications, I said, can Copper come in? And they said, absolutely, we are a pet-friendly business, which thank goodness, because look at Copper. Have you found that more and more cities are becoming this way? Have you seen this grow?
I've definitely seen it grow a little bit more kind of post-COVID and even during COVID, especially with outdoor dining. So I do a decent amount of traveling because I work fully remotely, and then Copper, she's with me all the time. So in seeing other states that have had a little bit different, lockdowns to some degrees, when you have outdoor dining, they're more likely to say, yeah, bring your dog, it's fine. So I've definitely seen that as people have been focusing on more outdoor activities and more just, working out outside, being outside and together, dogs are much more welcome than they used to be, I think. For sure. And Tampa's always been dog friendly.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky here.
Copper is amazing, and what a treat, to have her on the show. You would encourage people to definitely have a pet, wouldn't you?
100%. 100%. It's not an easy thing. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with having a pet. You never know what'll happen. Especially with a little dog, you go to the dog park and get bit by someone, but you can't put a price on the love that you get from a dog, from any pet, really.
I know, my heart's being filled right now, right, Copper? Well, we so appreciate, come over here, little one. We so appreciate, Brian, you coming on the show and sharing Copper with us. So for people who are not following her yet, where did they find her? I know we've shown her Instagram a bunch of times, but it's the Mini Copper.
Yep, it's at the.mini.copper on Instagram and on TikTok. And you'll be able to go ahead and follow her there, kind of see her journey, see her stories. And
We love it. We love it. And we would encourage you to share this show. You can find me on multiple platforms. You know, I'm usually very hyper, but I'm much more calm.
Petting the dog.
But yeah, so these are where you can find me. I mean, I'm telling you, Beth Weber, who we were talked about, my director of digital media, and the whole crew in there, I bet you they're saying, wow, she's really not as hyper. And it's because Copper's calming me down. Oh my gosh, she is beautiful. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And again, Brian, thank you. And thank you so much for introducing us to Julio. We really, really, really appreciate it. Again, stay safe, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you next Wednesday.